Hello and welcome to ITERS Item 17, Music and Movement. And in this short presentation, we're going to be looking at the ITERS Rating Scale for Item 7. And we're going to start off with some of Sammy's top tips for music and movement in the early years. And then we're going to dive in and look at the ITERS Rating Scale for music and movement, moving from a 1, inadequate. We will look at minimal, which is a 3, grade 3. We will look at good, which is grade 5. And we will look at excellent, which is grade 7. And we'll think about some of the things that we can do to strive towards excellence in our early years settings in relation to music and movement. So let's dive in with some of Sammy's top tips and let's get started. So, top tip number 1, include movement and music in routines such as circle time, home time, transitions during the day, tidy up songs, songs about moving through the building, welcoming songs. Use children's names in songs and rhymes through the day as much as you can. Top tip number 2, play background music, but only sometimes. And my top tip for playing background music in your early years classroom is that it should be no more than 50% of children's waking time. And this way, it won't interfere with activities or routines and will give children some time in the day where they can focus on language and listening to what people are saying and doing without the distraction of background noise. Top tip number 3, staff, early years practitioners in your room should lead daily music and movement activities. Children should enjoy taking part and they should choose to take part. So the movement and music activities that you deliver in your room, they should be choice-based, fun, engaging, exciting, and most of all, enticing for children. Top tip number 4, have music making materials such as instruments, rattles, shakers, other things that are either manufactured musical instruments or things that you've made. Have them out often during free play. In fact, every free play session, there should be some kind of access to musical instruments, either set out for the children to use or accessible for children to get out if they wish to use them. Top tip number 5, talk to children during play about features of music and musical instruments. Explain how to use the different musical instruments. Look at the intricacies of the instruments. Talk to them about the kind of sounds that they make. Soft, loud, ringing, tingling, and extend children's vocabulary by talking about instruments and their features. Top tip number 6, engaging in body percussion. Using your body to make sounds with the children, clapping, tapping legs, tapping arms, with a rhythm, with a beat, etc. Clap your hands if you can hear me now. Clap your hands if you can hear me now, etc. Top tip number 7, highlight and enjoy rhythm and beats with the children. Boys and girls, clap it back. Who can try this one? What about this one? Or rhythms. Millie, call it back to me. Bushka, call it back to me. Millie, Millie, Bushka, 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 Millie. Can you say the opposite? If I say Millie, you say Bushka. Ready? Ah, Millie, ah, Bushka. You can have lots of games like this, which is fun and engaging, where you're using rhyme, rhythm, and beats to call back and forth with clapping games or songs. Sometimes, this is top tip number 8, sometimes relate the music and movement to relevant themes in your classroom. Transport, holidays, Hanukkah songs, Christmas songs, etc. And top tip number 9, the last one, show children that you enjoy movement and music. And do this by modeling and having fun. And I think one of the most important things that you can do with children is share music that you love yourself. So if you are a huge Beatles fan, bring it in. If you love a bit of classical music, find ways to bring that in to the classroom. If you're a raver, heavy metal, all genres are valid and relevant. Do avoid music that has expletives in it and inappropriate language. That is obviously something that we would not want to promote, but we do want you to share your love, your passion for the music that you love and you enjoy, and children will immediately know and understand. If you love a show tune and you're singing show tunes in the classroom and having them playing, that shows your love and enthusiasm, and that will wear off also on the children as well. Okay, so let's dive in and start looking at the ITERS ratings. So starting with inadequate, this is a number 1. So an inadequate classroom would have no music or movement experiences for children. For example, no singing, no recorded music being used, no musical materials accessible during the day. Staff are not seen singing with the children during the day, either formally, for example at circle time, or informally, for example when you're putting children to sleep or when you're counting their toes and singing toe songs. Loud background music is on for most of the day and interferes with ongoing activities. So this might manifest by music staying on during quiet activities, or music raising the noise level that's already in a noisy room, and children and staff must raise their voices to be heard across the music. So if any of these things are happening, then your centre, your classroom is coming out as a number 1. If even one of these 3 things is met, you are stuck at a number 1. Here we go. Let's look at minimal. At least 3 age-appropriate materials are accessible most of the time or at times during the day to children. That might be simple musical toys, rattles, music player, recorded music, digital music, radio playing appropriate music. Some movement or dance activities. That might be finger play, Peter Pointer, where are you? Here I am, how do you do? So some finger play, clapping, moving to rhythm. Staff-led group music activities are pleasant and children generally appear to be engaged. Circle time, boys and girls, now we sing the wheels on the bus. How do they go? Round and round, etc. Background music is playing, but it doesn't interfere with any other activity, or it is not used at all. Okay, so if you're doing these things, these 4 criteria here, then you are coming out at a minimum. If you're doing 2 of these and you haven't met any of the inadequate and you're doing only 2 of these, then you're coming out at a level, rating of a 2. If you're doing all of these and nothing from the goods, you're coming out at a 3. So let's see what you need to do to be good. As well as meeting the minimal, you need to be doing these things also. So in a good setting for music and movement, children are not required to participate in music activities if they're not interested. And alternative activities are available when a music or movement activity is on offer. Throughout the day, throughout an average day in your classroom, at least 10 musical materials are made available throughout the day. And music and movement activities are personalized. So, for example, quiet lullabies are sung to sleepy children. Staff might count finger rhymes for individual children. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed at home. This little piggy had roast beef. And this little piggy had none. And this little piggy cried, wee, 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 wee. I can't find my way home. And that might be with one individual child that you have on your lap, or while you're playing with them, or while you're interacting with them, or while you're changing a nappy, for example. Hand washing songs are sung, etc., while children are washing hands. So those are your 3 good criteria. You're doing those 3 things plus your minimals, you're coming out at a number 5. If you're doing only 2 of those things and your minimals, you're coming out at a number 4. So if you're doing all the goods and 2 of the excellence, you're coming out at a number 6. And if you're doing all the goods and all 3 of these, then you are coming out at a 7. So let's see what you need to do to strive towards excellence. So some movement and music activities are related to current classroom themes or topics of interest. For example, dinosaurs, holiday music, animal songs with related music and movement. Age-appropriate musical instruments are accessible throughout the day to children 2 years old and over. And staff point out some of the features of music, point out rhyming words, point out speeds of the song, connect movement to music, do finger play related to the words in a song, encourage slow movements during slow music, and fast movements during fast music. So those are your excellence criteria. And if you're not already doing those, have a think, consider what you can do, how you can adapt the music and movement that is on offer in your classroom to strive towards excellence.